whoever you negotiated the contracts with, you guys need to get it back. And that actually leads to the second question that we have. Why isn't Sievers, HHS director, being fired? I mean, her resignation should be on your desk, if you were serious. But, obviously you are the administration of inadequacy. You tend to hire, the good ones left. Everybody that you, in your first term that you got, pretty much jumped ship, and got you elected. But then they saw all of the BS that was going on, and they all jumped ship. Hillary would probably still be with you, but I think she's going to be running for your office next year. That's why she got out of there. We'll see. We'll see if she even gets through the primaries when the truth about Benghazi actually comes out and everything. But, just, Mr. President, I just don't get it. You have an administration that's inept. You have people working around you who you have touted as experts and have completely dropped the ball. If they were in the corporate world, Mr. President, that's probably why they're working for you, because they wouldn't last in the corporate world. So with that, that was my tirade for the first hour. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to be talking about some of the things off the wall. If you'd like to join the conversation, feel free. Jump on in at any time. The number is 347-205-9899. That's 347-205-9899. When we get back, we'll be talking about some Blade Runner technology that's going on. We'll be talking about what's going on with Senator Rand Paul. Had a conference. We'll be talking about crews, showing you the difference, class. We'll be showing you what class looks like for all you Dems out there. Well, there's none listening. They wouldn't like me anyway. So, but we're going to demonstrate, some class, Mr. President, and stuff. So this is Jeff Norton of the Midnight Patriot Radio Show. If you'd like to reach us, you can always join us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com. Like us on Facebook, on Twitter. I am out there pretty much during the day. I will talk with you personally one-on-one. I don't have a staff. It's just me and some of my, close acquaintances. But if you get a conversation that's coming off of the Midnight Patriot, you are talking directly to me. And I'd like to, know what you guys are thinking. But this is Jeff Norton, Midnight Patriot Radio.
Welcome home the brave. The brave men and women who serve their country are coming home. Home to their cities and towns. Home to their mountains and valleys. Home to their families and friends. Home to America. Some of these warriors are coming home with wounds you can see, and some with wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Wounded Warrior Project was created to provide the support these wounded veterans need to ensure their return to America is well-adjusted and successful. But we need your help to ensure that our mission is a success. Help us honor and empower these wounded warriors. Contact us at findwwp.org. America, welcome home the brave.
In a moment, cancer changed our lives forever.
At this moment, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is saving lives with pioneering research and care.
And we'll never have to pay St. Jude for anything, ever.
At this moment, she wants to be in her own bed.
to be back at school with my friends. I want to be outside playing.
Please take a moment and visit stjude.org today.
You're listening to Jeff Norton, the Midnight Patriot radio show. If you'd like to reach out and talk to us, you can always reach us on the web at www.themidnightpatriot.com or give us a call at 347-205-9899. That's 347-205-9899. Also, one of the things that I want to talk to you guys about, and we'll do a little shameless plug here and stuff. As you know, this is a 24/7 operation. This is all I do. But I still have bills. We all have bills. So the way that we do this is that we ask that you guys help support us. Now, we're not asking that you guys pay for, fee for service and all that. What we're asking is that if you know of a business that you feel that would be a good fit for the Midnight Patriot as a advertiser, please put them in touch with us. We have the lowest advertising rates, and we will guarantee lock-in rates as we grow our show and as we grow our audience. So they have an opportunity to get in on the ground floor as we take off. For a standard radio 30-second ad, it is $5 a month. For a 1-minute ad, it's $10 a month. That gets you on all the podcasts. That also gets you banners on our site. So if you know of a business that you think could service us and help us out, and also you would like to see advertised on the Midnight Patriot radio show, please give them our information. Let them reach us. We will have an ability for people to log in and do advertising next week as we complete the switch over of the site. The other thing is that we know, people, times are tough for everybody. I got to come up with $1,800 a month, and if the Obamacare bill goes through, $1,800 a month is what I got to figure out for insurance. Now, I'll probably not go on the exchange. I'll get it from a private. I'm not putting my name on that database. Ain't going to do it, for a lot of different reasons and stuff. So I'm looking at that. So I understand. People don't have money. It's tough times. Gas is hard, food is up, everything, trying to find a job. I know there's a lot of people out there that are unemployed, even though our government doesn't count them because they're off the rolls and stuff. Unemployment's up close to 19-20%. There's a lot of people that I know personally who just don't get jobs anymore. They're not looking, they're doing jobs here and there. They're not looking for a full-time job. They're not working in their profession. There's guys coming out of college that are lawyers and doctors who are working at gas stations. It's pretty sad, So I understand times are tough. But the best way that you can support us, tell your friends about us. Tell your family about us. If there's suggestions, we're open to suggestions. This is a station that we're putting together. It's a grassroots movement. So anything that we can do to make it better, let us know. We'll be glad to do that. If you are a podcaster yourself and would like to be featured on our show, on our website, let us know. We have the ability to do refeeds. So that's one way that you can support us. It doesn't cost you anything, but just get the word out. Let people know about us. Help us spread the message. The other thing too that you can do is participate. Now, we've only been doing the show for a week. Our Facebook page has only been up for about a week or so. We're getting new friend requests every day. It's phenomenal. I have to say, it's very phenomenal and stuff. But the other way is participate. Give us a call, 347-205-9899. Let us know. Let us know what you think. We'd like to move the show to a 2-hour show, and we could do that. But, we need to have some participation from some of you guys, the audience. But going back to my earlier statement about, I'm going to let you guys kind of, the NRA guys out there, I'll give you the answer of what's going on. It's great news. You're starting to see a shift. But before I get there, let's talk about this Blade Runner. For those guys, Philip K. Dick wrote a book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That later became a movie with Harrison Ford called Blade Runner, which later became a movie. I think Colin Farrell did it. But the whole premise, you gotta watch the movie. But they had a test in there called the Turing test, and the Turing test was a way, empathy. Robots can't mimic human empathy. Well, guess what? There is a company. If you go out to our website, themidnightpatriot.com, and you will see there's a link to it. But there is a company who is now marketing a product or a service to businesses. It's called Knackit Corp. KNACKIT.IT. Or let me redo this, because this is very important. You got to go out there and read this. KNACK.IT. Now, Knackit Corp, what they have done is they developed, you always go out there and read the full article on our website. So they developed online games and different computer algorithms. And as a company, what you do is you take your star performers, people you like, and you let them play the game. Then what it does is it trains the computer about qualities about that individual. There's qualities about that individual based upon the game. And then so when an applicant comes in, they play the same game. And if their aptitude doesn't match the aptitude of your star performers, I guess, HR uses that to hire you or fire you. So that's out there. That's the technology that's being put out there now into the marketplace. So now they're going to take, the ideal person, and they're going to take a test on a computer. And then with that test, you're going to determine if you get the job or not. I believe in 1940s, 1930s, there was an organization that offered tests. They took the ideal person, blonde hair, blue eyes, good build, measured their skull, measured their physique, and they compared everybody else in their country against the ideal human, which they call the ideal human. And for those that don't know, they can't draw that line, I'll draw it for you. It's called the Nazis. The Nazis used the same thing. Now, they didn't have the sophistication of a computer doing it for them, but they put together health tribunes and all of that, and they put together, the ideal person. And then they compared everybody to it. And if you weren't ideal, if you were mentally ill, if you were a homosexual, if you were a Jew, if you were an African American or African, they obviously weren't American when they lived in Germany. But if you weren't of that special ilk or that special, didn't meet up their criteria, they killed you. Now, I'm not saying that's what this is going to happen, but in essence, isn't that what's going to happen? If you lose the opportunity to feed your family and to experience the American dream, isn't that the same and stuff? When did we get to the point in this country that we allow computers and technology to override our common senses? Now granted, I'm a technology person. I like my technology.